We are recording,
All right.
and I'm gonna start. See, last time I made the mistake of clapping up here, and it wasn't that loud, so I need to clap right here.
Smart.
All right,
Let's do it.
let's go.
All right, we back.
We
Podcast
back.
number 2.
Numero dos.
Yep.
So,
What do we got today?
well, we talked about last podcast. We talked about Jesse Smollett, mass shooters. What else did we talk about? We talked about.
We talked about transgender people.
Oh yeah, we touched on that.
Yeah, we talked a lot.
But just as a recap on the Jesse Smollett, as of now, when we're recording this, some recent news about it is Trump got involved, and he mentioned that it's an embarrassment to our country that the judge let him off.
Yep.
And what did he do? He hired the told the Department of Justice to investigate it more.
It said that he would have the FBI and the Justice Department review his case, even though the Chicago resident said the president should stay out of the racially charged incident. Which, why would he stay out of a racially charged incident?
Wait, what was that? The Chicago who?
Chicago. It just said the Chicago residents.
Oh, okay.
But the Department of Justice and the FBI, that's who he wants to review the case.
Okay. That's interesting.
He said that he thinks it's an absolute embarrassment to our country and somebody has to at least take a very good hard look at it, which I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they're not just letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one of the things about Trump that I like. Like, he's actually going to follow through on this and not just let it go like everyone else is just going to let it go.
And then,
so I think that's pretty cool.
So I'm glad. I agree. It is an embarrassment that he got off, and I'm glad that
it's not the end of it.
Yeah, it's not the end of it. But to play devil's advocate, a lot of people are saying, well, Trump's not saying any of this when a black dude gets shot in Chicago, like unwarranted. That's the word, unwarranted.
Yeah.
So what they're saying, and they're like, oh, so of course if it's making MAGA look good, Trump will say something,
Okay.
But if a black kid gets shot that didn't deserve to be shot, they're like, well, why isn't he speaking up for that? So that's what people are mad about.
Well, I don't really know entirely how much Trump speaks on all of that.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is large investigations that go into when accusations of something like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the verdict of those type of trials or whatever you want to call them,
yeah,
when they look into those kind of cases, maybe they don't agree with them, but there's no doubt that they do look into it.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like when there's that kind of an accusation, they do look into the case pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with the Jesse Smollett thing, they didn't really.
No.
They just
And to be fair, we don't know everything.
No.
We don't know the whole story.
No.
That's why it'd be great if someone would fact check us, leave a comment, tell us what you know. We want to learn more.
Definitely.
But yeah, I agree. We don't know what happens when shit like that happens.
Yeah. Because I think the problem with the police and all that has to just do with how people feel about our justice system and how they treat cops maybe in those situations. Because they do look into the situations. But I guess most of the time they find that the cop's innocent in the matter, which always isn't true.
Most of the time, not all the time. Exactly. Because there are fucked up cops out there.
Of course. And that's what I hate too. I hate when people go after cops. We need police. You can't doubt that we need police, and the police do a lot of good, and most of them are good, and most of them are out there doing it for the right reasons. But of course, you're going to get bad cops. You're going to get people that have bad intentions and stuff, and that's all you're going to see on the news.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all that they put up.
Yeah, and people don't know the scenario of the situation and what the cop was dealing with, and if they had investigations going into. They don't know the
context.
Yeah,
they just see the 5-second video.
Exactly.
And
you see that all the time where it's you just see the headline of a black kid shot or something, but then when you actually look into that person, it turns out that they had criminal background and they were a suspicious person. Or there was that one years ago.
Well, that shouldn't mean they should get shot, though. You have to look into the video.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they should get shot.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I hate it when they paint the picture that, oh, this was just an innocent kid that was just minding his business, and the cops came out and shot him. That's usually not the case.
Usually, yeah.
It's usually not the case. There was that case, I forgot the kid's name that got shot, but it was years ago, and it was the one where the kid literally just got done robbing a place and then was approached by police officers, and the kid was actually trying to climb into the cop car and reach at the cop and got shot and killed.
Yeah.
And everyone was upset about it, saying he was a good kid, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
He was not a good kid. You're reaching for a cop, and you're a big kid. You're asking to die.
I mean, I would shoot him.
Yeah.
It's my life for his life.
The cops want to go home too. They want to live too, and they put their lives in danger every day, and they don't get the credit for that.
No.
So I don't think it's really fair that
picture being painted.
all that gets put up is the negative stuff.
Yeah.
And sure, maybe there could be something to be done about that to make the police better. Of course, better training, whatever.
Yeah.
But to just say that cops are evil in general and all that, that's just not fair.
It's not fair for the media to portray that picture that cops are bad. You know, you should be like feel safe when something happens. You should feel safe to wanting to call the cops.
Yeah.
Some people are scared to call the cops, like because they're just looking at the media and what they're saying about it.
Yeah.
Not every cop's like that.
I know.
You know, but that's sad. But anyways, also we got a little off track, which is fine. That's what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
But back to the Jussie Smollett thing. A thing I wanted to bring up. Chris Rock. He did, I don't know if you saw about this or read about it or whatever, but he did like a comedic thing at the NAACP Awards. And do you know what that is? The NAACP?
I'm guessing it has to do with awards for black people.
It's something like that. It's like
but like for like a certain area or just in general.
I'm not too sure what NAACP awards are. I think it's for like activists and stuff and like activism or something like that.
Okay.
Or just the black community, people doing something good in the black community, you know?
Okay.
Something like that. But anyways, he was at the NAACP Awards and he started joking about Jussie Smollett.
Oof.
And he was just like, we don't claim that guy. Like,
yeah.
we don't like him and stuff. And he's making all these jokes.
Well, you know what's funny about that? I kind of feel like that with like being a conservative. Like, people try to, like, put you in a box of what you believe and what your ideals are. And then when somebody that's conservative does something crazy, they put you in the box of someone that's like that.
Well, that's
or
what it's like.
I voted for Trump, so I'm like that.
Well, that's what it's like on every side, unfortunately.
I know.
With the political ways it is.
Yeah.
Everyone puts everyone in the box.
Yeah.
Which is not fair.
Or they make
at
assumptions about, the way you vote and what that means about who you are and what you believe.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
so
not
like
always necessarily
for a conservative, everyone thinks they're racist or whatever. And then for a liberal, the other side, they all think that they're just dumb and they're all privileged or something, stupid college kids. So it goes both ways, the political divide in this country is insane, and then the media just adds to that by putting everyone in a box. And it's just fucked up. But what I wanted to say about Chris Rock is he's making a bunch of jokes about it, but then people at the NAACP were like really mad at him.
Okay.
And I just think that's funny because
it makes him look bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's at the NAACP awards and stuff like.
Yeah. They just want to ignore the bad when it comes to them.
And what I don't get too is how can you? I mean, dude, Jussie Smollett is wrong. He faked it. Like, it's fact.
Yeah.
It's facts.
Yeah.
And obviously he's denying it, but how can you agree with him, And they're just agreeing with him just because they're black and he's black.
Yeah. They just don't want any kind of bad attention.
Yeah.
For their cause or their movement. Yeah, exactly.
But people like Chris Rock obviously know he faked it and he jokes about it, and that's funny.
Yeah.
That's what comedy is.
Dude, that's the thing about comedy like today too that sucks. Like, it would really suck to be a comedian because it's already really hard to be a comedian and put together material and make it land so that a wide audience of people can enjoy it. But nowadays it's like people don't understand that sometimes people say things to be funny.
Yeah.
But they don't really like mean it actually. It's just a joke. They just say
it's pushing the boundary.
They just say it's fun because it's funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what makes it funny. Because it's something that's slightly offensive. That's
exactly
on the edge. Like that's funny humor.
So people need to learn how to like loosen up and just take things as a joke, especially when it's coming from a comedian. Yeah. Like, that's what they do. And Chris Rock in that situation, he's just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
He's not a politician. He's not anybody. He's a comedian.
Exactly. It's his lane.
So he takes a very serious event that happens and he makes a joke out of it. That's what comedians do.
We need more of that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like seeing Joe Rogan's special on Netflix, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Hilarious.
He's funny.
Yeah.
I like that little segment he's talking about where he's like, you have to explain your jokes now. People don't just take them as jokes. You have to sit there and be like, oh, this is what I really mean.
It's like a disclaimer for everything.
Yeah, seriously.
It's so dumb. But I am seeing, maybe it's just me that's seeing this, but I am seeing a slow shift back into not being so politically correct. Mm-hmm. I'm slowly seeing a shift on the internet of like people going away from that, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're seeing it too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think people are just kind of getting tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets to a point where it's like, where does it end? Like you're gonna offend somebody no matter what. So where does it end?
Exactly. And a generation raised by South Park, like how did we all get so soft?
No, I know.
I've seen that tweet everywhere, but it's true. Like,
yeah.
I was raised on South Park.
Well, and it's funny, too, because they say things like, you know, people are like, oh, we want an Office reboot. And Steve Carell says, like, there's no way The Office would work today because everyone gets offended.
Yep.
Like, you watch The Office, it's hilarious because
of that humor.
Yeah, they use that kind of humor, that offensive humor. That's exactly the character of Michael Scott and what he did. And he's saying, like, we can't bring that show back. People aren't going to like it. And the thing that's getting annoying to me about comedy is... You used to watch SNL and you'd watch skits with like Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell.
SNL, dude.
And it was just comedy was so clever back then. Yeah. It was all just about coming up with a funny idea that had nothing to do with politics, and it was just pure funny.
Pure just funny skits.
Talent, comedy. Nowadays it's just politics. Dude, I go on Comedy Central and I can't handle it. Like the Trevor Noahs and the John Olivers, and they're just going on about their liberal agenda stuff. And it's like, to make fun of politics isn't even clever.
No.
Like, you want to sit there and make fun of Donald Trump?
That was a huge thing in like 2016 when the election was happening.
Yeah.
That was the peak for that comedy. Mm-hmm. It's been like, what, 3 years now?
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Like, move on to something.
And it's not clever to me.
No.
It's not actually it's not like Chris Farley, you know, living in a van down by the river.
Dude, nothing
like,
will ever
it's just
be
funny, but people just take politics, and I don't know, I just don't think it's funny anymore.
No,
I don't think it's real. It's
not funny.
Yeah.
And even if they did do that, they need to make fun of both sides. Mm-hmm. That's what would make it funny.
Yeah.
That's what South Park does.
Definitely don't. Oh, yeah. South Park's great. And because I always said, I was like, man, why does South Park get to stay on the air? Why don't they get kicked off? Because they literally make fun of religions.
They make fun of everything.
Types of people, everything. But I think it's because they make fun of everything. They make fun of both sides of the political spectrum. They make fun of every different kind of person. Funny. And that's what's hilarious about it. They find the humor in everything.
Yeah. That's
it's like, how can you be a Christian and be mad like, oh, they're making fun of Christianity when the next episode they're making fun of Jews and Scientologists. They're always making fun of someone.
And then they're making fun of white people, and then they're making fun of black people, and then Asians, and then, you know, they make fun of everything.
I did hear, though, that at one point there was a Scientologist that worked with South Park or something, and he ended up leaving because of the Scientology episode.
Actually, you remember Chef?
Yeah.
I heard that he left, too, because of the jokes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you know,
so there's always going to be those people, but they still didn't stop what they were doing. No. They still weren't going to be like, okay, we won't do that. No, they're like, this is what we're doing, and if you don't like it, then
it's edgy humor.
You don't have to be on the show.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
It's just amazing how people get so offended from humor and stuff like that.
Like we were talking about last time. Everybody just wants to be offended by something.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so I just wanted to touch on the Jussie Smollett. There's nothing really new. It's just that, you know, Trump said he wanted to look at it. Yeah, it's not over.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll see what happens if he goes back on Empire. I don't know if he will.
Mm-hmm.
If they're still looking into it, we'll see about that. Yeah. But anyways, another thing that happened this past week, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
He got shot outside of his store in L.A.
Yeah, apparently, everyone's devastated about that.
Oh, yeah, dude. He was
such a good guy.
First of all, he was a great rapper. I didn't listen to too much of his music. I've only listened to a few songs. Mm-hmm. But a lot of rappers I listen to now got their inspiration from him.
Through him.
Like, he's one of the dudes that inspired him.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that actually is, like, out in the community trying to make a difference.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
He was a good guy, you know, nice to everybody.
Yeah.
Still a gangster, because that's that's how.
Well,
he
dude,
is,
that's part of the lifestyle.
Oh, exactly, yeah. But he was good with it. He had did good things with his money.
If you're doing positive things in your community, that's all that matters.
Yeah. But anyways, so apparently he got shot in the head, in the chest by who did they say who shot him? They have him in custody, right?
Let's see here. Yeah, his name is Eric R. Holder Jr., who's 29 years old, and he pleaded not guilty. Which I was kind of curious to find out, like, who this guy was. Like, yeah, it's pretty interesting, like, why someone would want to shoot him.
And just off of, from what I've seen on Twitter,
it said that they knew each other and had several conversations throughout the day Sunday before Holder eventually returned with a handgun and shot him. That's what the authorities are saying. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. So they're saying he knew him, but I wonder why he shot him. And I know you're saying there's some conspiracies about it because of what Nipsey was doing.
Yeah. First, I want to say apparently Nipsey had an idea that something bad was going to happen based on what I've seen off Twitter. Obviously, that's not a good place to source my facts, but I'm just telling you what I've seen.
Well, everything as far as this is kind of just speculation because it's kind of it's a new thing. Yeah. We don't have a lot of information yet.
Yeah. But so apparently he knew that something bad was going to happen. He was talking to his family and son or something, and he was like, giving him life advice because I guess it seemed like something bad was going to happen. I don't know. But so the conspiracy behind it, what's his name? Dr. Sebi?
Yeah, I guess that's his nickname, it says here. It says working on a documentary. Sorry, give me a second.
No, you're good.
Nipsey Hussle. Just purchased a new marathon closing. His name is Alfredo Bowman, and he's better known as Dr. Sebi.
Okay.
And he's an unlicensed physician. And
unlicensed?
That's
interesting.
Claimed in the 80s that he had the cure for AIDS.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when AIDS was huge, too.
Yeah.
That's when it was blowing up.
And so, anyway, about that doctor, so I guess you were saying Nipsey was going to make a documentary regarding this to bring to light this whole story about how he said that he had the cure for AIDS, but he was basically the pharmaceutical companies came after him.
Yeah, or the big medical companies or something.
Yeah.
And I guess he went to court. I don't know if this is true, but I guess he went to court in the 80s and he actually won the case.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had proof of like healing AIDS and stuff. So there's a conspiracy that Nipsey was gonna bring this to light, and then he got shot.
Yeah.
Honestly, which I could back up, because if someone found a cure to AIDS or cancer or something, how much money medical companies and pharmaceutical companies are losing?
Dude, I know. Honestly, the whole pharmaceutical company thing, that is so evil. Because have you seen the movie Dallas Buyers Club?
Mm-mm.
It's a Matthew McConaughey film. I actually watched it a few months ago.
Uh-huh.
And the whole premise of the movie was that they had some things that showed promise in curing AIDS, or at least slowing the effects of AIDS, like building up their immune systems and whatever. Well, the FDA wouldn't approve it. And so it was illegal to use these substances. And the people were like, we're dying. Yeah. And, in America, in a free country, we should be able to take whatever we want if we're in a position where we're going to die from this disease. And it shouldn't have to be FDA regulated.
I didn't know that movie was about that.
Yeah, that's what the movie is about. And so the movie was Matthew McConaughey basically ran a thing where he would go down to Mexico and get these treatments, and then started the Dallas Buyers Club, which is people with AIDS would come and buy the products.
And this is like a true story?
Yeah, and it was a true story.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did it actually help him?
Yeah, it did help him. He still ended up dying from AIDS, I think, but he when he got diagnosed with it, was told he was going to die like way sooner, like a few months to live.
Damn.
And then he started doing these treatments, and he lived for years and years and then died.
Damn, dude.
And so I just think that the pharmaceutical companies, dude, that's what they're doing with our food. They keep changing, like, what we're supposed to eat and...
Like the food pyramid thing?
Yeah. Like, I think that they lie, and because they're trying to keep people unhealthy. That way they're on the hook for all these medications. Think about all the older people and how many medications they're on.
Dude, the fact that America uses the most medicated, like, medication out of the world, like, apparently America, compared to any other country, uses so much meds and, like, prescribed pills.
Yeah. They're shoving it down our throats.
Oh, yeah.
And these prescriptions that they're giving us, they're not, like, making us better. They're just keeping us alive.
Yeah. It's just, it's
they're
like a buffer.
Keeping us normal.
Like,
they're not curing us.
No.
Nothing's getting cured.
It's just kind of like hiding it.
And it's kind of funny because I think people are starting to realize that if you just eat healthy, then that is the best medicine.
Yeah. And same with...
That's how you take care of your body. You exercise and you eat healthy.
And same with, like, antidepressants and stuff. A lot of people are resorting to just their own mind and doing more, like, what's the word?
Meditation?
Meditation and stuff, compared to just relying on antidepressant pills.
Yeah, I think that's a huge problem in our society is, like, I think people don't like to live in discomfort. And I think that people need to realize that, like, being in a bad mental state, like, that sometimes happens, and the answer isn't to numb it with something. It's you got to face it.
And it doesn't help the doctors just prescribing all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, they just walk into the doctors, oh, I'm sad. Okay, well, you pay $100 and something for this, and you should be fine.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then you think about all the kids that they just, like, put on ADD medication.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Like, they're a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I know...
Is ADD even, like, a bad thing?
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that, like, there are kids that actually have ADD and need the medication. Like, there's those type of kids. But then I feel like they're just so loose with putting prescriptions out there.
Yeah. Because I feel like not every... Like, I feel like I have ADD. You know?
I mean, everyone has a little bit, especially in this day and age. Everything's so fast-moving.
True.
I actually saw a thing they were talking about, like, cartoons and how things like SpongeBob and stuff are kind of bad for you because kids are seeing, like... They were saying that they don't focus on one scene for more than, like, a few seconds. They're always constantly jumping to the next scene.
That's true.
And it's kind of like they were comparing SpongeBob to, like, Caillou. And how in, like, Caillou, there's, like, these just slowed down scenes where it's just focused on one thing. Yeah. And SpongeBob, something like SpongeBob, which we grew up on.
Oh,
we love
every
SpongeBob.
Day.
Huge SpongeBob fan.
Every
Shout
day.
out. Shout out SpongeBob.
My boy Steven Hillenberg, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. But anyway, they were saying that, like, things like that in kids, it just it's that, like, what is it, immediate satisfaction?
Yeah, it's like the
kind of thing. Yeah, and with, like, us constantly being on our phones and seeing cool things and having everything at our fingertips, I think that kind of gives us a little bit of ADD.
Oh, I agree, honestly. And I actually think this kind of relates to the whole, like, mumble rap scene. You know, like...
people don't want to be insightful.
Exactly.
And focus on anything and think
lyrics.
About what it means. They're just like, I just want to turn up.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with that 100%, especially with social media, like instant satisfaction. Yeah. You know, it's bad.
But I think it's kind of funny, too, because technology's supposed to be advancing us, right?
Yeah.
And it is. And we were talking in the last podcast about how, like, having this phone on our person at all times is, like, makes us smarter.
Did we talk about that last?
We did a little bit, yeah. We touched on it, but, like, it's almost like we're cyborgs now. We got this machine on us at all times.
We're so smart compared to, you know, how we were hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. We're not curious anymore, and I feel like because of that, we're not striving to, like, gain more information. We're sitting there, like, yeah, we have this phone with this unlimited potential of knowledge on it. Yeah. But what do? We go on social media and watch funny YouTube videos and look at memes. Yeah. We're not advancing ourselves and we're not curious, you know? We're not in the classroom like, oh, I want to learn. We're not out in the world trying to figure things out. More and more people are getting dumber and dumber and dumber because they don't care. They got this entertainment in front of them all the time. Like, I just think about back in the day when they were figuring out all this stuff, like in Isaac Newton's days or something. They didn't have TV, phones, social media. They were just like, let's go out and figure some stuff out, you know? And I feel like people just don't have that curiosity anymore to learn and get better their minds.
They didn't have distractions. They didn't have you know, all this other shit they could be doing, you know, instant gratification. They didn't have that. Yeah. They just had their minds.
And I think that definitely, you know, goes back to the whole, like, government almost trying to distract us.
Make us sheep.
Yeah. We're just like slaves to our phones. We got our heads down.
Oh, exactly.
And we're not paying attention to what's really going on.
I agree with that 100%.
And think about how they have our system set up. In order to be successful in this world, you have to work non-stop, which is unhealthy. Like, humans need time for themselves, you know, to just do things that they like and relax. And I think about my life, and it's like, just to be successful, you have to work half the week, go to school half the week, and any other time you have to do homework or whatever. You got so many responsibilities, and the world's set up like that to where you have to work so hard. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with hard work.
Oh, no.
But it's distracting us from doing things that are good for us, like things that we need to do. And that's why people are having problems, like you said, more mental problems and stuff. People don't have time to meditate or take time for themselves.
Because they need to live in this society.
It's making us crazy.
In order to be successful in this society, you have to give into it and constantly work, you know, go to school, you know, do your taxes. I think, we're in the freest country, but just the way that our lives are as people, this is about to get really deep, by the way, but just the way that the system's set up, it's almost like we're slaves to the system. And I guess that's an argument. That's pretty much what government is. That's how, you know, a country thrives. But it's like you can't break that. You can't get out of that. If you want true freedom, you know, you can't have that.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of weird to think about.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think about it because, like, on the other hand, like, hard work's really good, but like, you kind of have to balance it a little bit. You know what I mean?
A thing that I think is actually, I think something we should talk about is the amount of stress nowadays that kids have right when they leave high school to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their freaking lives. Like, they're just pushing you right out of high school, and they're like, "What college you want to go to? We're making you have a decision of how much debt you want to be in compared to what college you want to be in, and you're barely 18.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to do this for the next 4 years, and what do you want to major in? You have to figure out now.
Well, and it's funny you say that, too, because, you know, I was told different things. You know, coming out of high school, people were saying, like, oh, you can just take your general eds and figure out what you want to do. Well, I started doing that, and I realized, nope, you got to know what you want to do. They have you diving right into your major, and if you just take general ed classes, you get behind. And like, for me, for instance, because I took all those general ed classes, now I'm straight taking every semester for the past 2 years. I've been taking math, science, engineering. That's it. I haven't had any other classes mixed in there because I got all the general eds out of the way, and now I'm just have to cram all that, and it made it really difficult for me.
Well, I feel like, though, but you know what you want to do.
But do I know what I want to do? And I'm air quoting, but
well, I mean, you do. You're gonna be
well, what I'm saying is I think that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I've never done it.
That's true.
I'm just guessing that that's what I want to do based off of the money I would make and what I think the job is.
Yeah.
But
that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. And at this point, I feel like I couldn't even change if I wanted to because I've done so much work. It would put me behind.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I think is really fucked up. And that's what I think is fucked up about the whole college scam thing. Did you hear about that? The parents are paying for their kids to.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we touched on that. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's why I think it's really fucked up that, you know, parents are paying their kids through that when there's other kids struggling. They don't even know what to do yet, and they're just spending so much money. And they're just struggling through this period of your life, like the early 20s, dude. It's stressful. It's you know, maybe it's, you know, different for people, but from what I've heard, from most people our age, it's stressful. Figuring out who you want to be, like growing up as a person. Yeah. And you're juggling all this schoolwork, whether you're going to school, and you're juggling all this pressure from your family to like what you want to do or something. Like, it's intense. You know, I really think people should be aware of that more. Yeah. And you know, just be there for someone if they're struggling through this time of their life. But it's crazy, dude. Figuring out life, it's insane.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's crazy. And I also think colleges are scams. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, for me, I think college is what you make of it. Yeah. That's kind of what I've learned. My thing is what do you want to get out of college? Yeah. if you want to just go and study something that's going to make you really happy and, broaden your knowledge on a subject that you are interested in, just to better yourself in that area, that's one thing. But the thing that irritates me is when people go to college, spend all the money, but they do some major where you're not going to get a good job where you make a lot of money, or there's not a lot of jobs out there in that field. And that's the problem, is people, you kind of got to balance what you want to get out of your life as opposed to what kind of lifestyle you want to live versus what kind of career you want to do. Because there's a lot of people that go to college, get a degree, and then can't get a job, and then they complain because they're in debt. And it's well, that's your fault for picking that major.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why I picked something that I feel like I'll not only enjoy it, but I'm definitely gonna make money doing it.
And then another thing too, so like I said, everyone wants your child to go to college. That's what high school pushes. Like, you really want to go to college. So there's a lot of people that go to college, get their degree in child development, psychology, something that's not engineering, medical field, or like
a STEM major.
Yeah, exactly. Something that's not that. So kids that are getting the degrees in that, they're 3 to 4 years doing college. They come out of college in debt, and then they get a job, and they just get a starting out job. Yeah. Like right after college. So they're 22, 23 making minimum wage, and kind of almost wasting 4 years, in my opinion, because it depends how you look at it. Because if you get a job when you're like 19 and you excel from there, you're way ahead of the pack, but you don't have a degree. So that's the problem.
So that's the balance you got to find. Yeah. I think when it's like, should you go to college or should you not go to college, it really just depends on your circumstances. Because, like my sister, her fiance, he just went into a trade that his dad was doing.
Which I think should be told about in school more. More people should be doing that.
Yeah. But so the thing is, you got to evaluate your own life and what you can do. Because, like, for instance, you don't like school. No. You don't do school. That's why you're not doing it. Yeah. And that makes sense for you. Me, on the other hand, I can handle school. It's not as bad for me. Yeah. And I don't think I could do anything
other than the
past. Outside of going to school. Yeah. I mean, I could pick up a trade or something, but I want to do better with my life, and I feel like I have that opportunity. You made up your mind. Yeah. To the path that you want to do, Yeah. You're not straying from that. But what I was saying is, my sister's fiance, he interned right out of high school doing that, and now he makes a good amount of money. No college degree. Yeah. College isn't the only option. Exactly. So I think for people to push that you need to go to college, that's just not true.
It's not true.
It depends on who you are, and some people have talents, and I think that if you have a dream and talents, you should be able to try to pursue that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're right. Definitely. College isn't the only option, and I just hate it when people get told. There's kids out there, and I know if you're watching, there's people out there that get told that college is the only option, even if you really don't want to do it. And I just want to say that, you don't have to do it. There's so many different things you can do with your life if you just take control and, follow what you want to do. But yeah, I think that's a stressful thing. But I think trade schools and stuff too, more people need to look into that.
Yeah, there's definitely always a need in the trades too.
And people are like, oh, well, I don't want to be like a plumber or a construction guy. Like, they make good money. They make darn good money,
That's what I'm saying. You just gotta make the right decision for your life. Do you want to go? Because what college entails is a lot of hard work and going broke, basically, for an ultimate, hopefully, payoff. Degree, yeah. That's how I look at it. Is I'm gonna be broke and I'm gonna have a piece of paper when I'm done with college, and the hope is you get a good job and you're set for the rest of your life, basically. Yeah. So, do you want to talk about this Jeff Bezos thing?
Oh, today? yeah, let's bring that up.
Yeah, I want to talk about that today.
Off topic a little bit.
No, it's fine. I like getting off topic.
Damn, it's been 34 minutes already?
Really?
Yeah. We'll go to 40.
We'll go 40 today? Yeah, we'll go 40 right. Today. I'm down. Cool.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah, when you talked about this, before we started recording, I wanted to hear your perspective on it, because obviously you came in,
Okay.
I want to hear.
Yeah. Okay. So for the people that don't know, Jeff Bezos, he's the creator of Amazon, founder of Amazon, and he's getting divorced with his wife. I think it's actually final now. They settled or whatever, and it turns out that his wife is going to get 25% of the Amazon stock, which is close to $36 billion. And so the thing I kind of wanted to talk about was, okay, in this, we'll just take this scenario for an example. But
okay.
Let's say in this case, like, he created this company. He built it up. He made the money. The fact that he has to pay a substantial amount more for the divorce, because I guess he cheated or whatever, which is on him. That's his fault. Yeah. He broke his wedding vows. That's terrible. But what does that have to do with this business, and why should someone like him have to pay that substantial of amount of money compared to, like, let's say I'm broke and I cheat on my wife and then she doesn't get squat. So I'm paying way less for the divorce than he's paying. Yeah. You know, and I just don't understand how what he's built has to do with his wife. Like, he should obviously have to take care of her. Yeah. But $36 billion, and people are saying, you know, she should get half. Yeah. So they're saying she's getting ripped off. But I'm like, the hell is she gonna do with $36 billion in Amazon stock?
Shit, I wish I had $36 billion.
I know. But what do you think about that?
So
like,
it's
like
funny
men,
that,
or even if it was a woman. Yeah. Because even if he didn't do anything, what if they just got divorced because they wanted to get divorced, or even if it was she was cheating on him, he would still have to give her.
So yeah. So settle. Again, so what I want to talk about this is because I actually asked the same question to my sister's fiance. You know him, and yeah. And we were talking about this, and apparently, the reason why she's getting some of it because they married before he got famous and rich. So apparently
she's not a gold digger.
No. So apparently, also they settled this in court. She had a lot of power in decision making when he was bringing up the company. Okay. So apparently, she was really involved in it.
So in that case, that's fair.
But to be fair, I don't know. That's what he said. That's what Monique said, my sister's fiance. So I don't know the whole facts about this case. But if that's the case, then that would make sense. That's why she gets all that money. Yeah. Because she was heavily involved in helping him bring up this company. You know. But if that's not true, then.
Because I just think, like, in a normal divorce case, it makes sense to, like, split things 50-50 and all that kind of stuff. Because you guys, like, kind of built your life together and everything. And I'm just talking about, like, people that have a lot of money and built their own companies. Like,
that's why they signed prenups.
Got divorced. Yeah. You know, his wife didn't build what he did. Yeah. So why should she get all that money?
Well, that's why famous rich people sign prenups. They make you sign prenups so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't. I just think it's interesting.
No, it's very interesting. I think when you are that rich and you're that famous and you don't have a wife or a girlfriend or something, and imagine how hard it would be to trust a woman that she's with you not for your money.
Oh, I know.
That would be insane.
It'd be impossible.
It would be impossible. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. You'd have to marry an ugly girl.
Yeah. You'd have to go to
just so you know. Yeah. Because, like, if you married a hot girl, you'd just be looking at her every day. Like, you're like 45. She's 22.
You gotta surprise her every now and then.
Yeah.
I lost all my money. You still love me, right?
Yeah. You have to test her. Yeah. That's super funny.
That's what I would do. Just test her. Gotcha. I still got $5 billion. We're good. Come fuck me. Damn.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Yeah, I want a divorce." Fuck, should have had the prenup. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
That's funny. All right, you want to wrap this bitch up?
Yeah, we should wrap it up. Man, that went by fast.
That went by real fast.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
See you next week.
Hopefully. Hopefully our schedules let us do it next week.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do it every week. Yeah, definitely.
We don't have a set day yet.
Yeah,
but.
And it all depends on, for now when we post the video.
Exactly.
But we'll be live streaming pretty soon, eventually. Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Let us know if you want us to talk about something else. I kind of want to talk about...
or if we're full of shit on anything, let us know. Like, we're totally down for anyone telling us, like, you're completely wrong. Like, we don't know a lot. We just pull stuff up on a computer.
Yeah. We just talk about from our perspective.
Yeah, we're just talking. So if we're full of shit, let us know.
Please. Yeah. Because I'm dumb a lot. So.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. And that's a wrap.